gavel's big enough.
Please come to order. Good morning. Welcome to the Commissioners of St. Mary's County meeting this date, Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. I am Randy Guy, President of Commissioners of St. Mary's County. I'd like to introduce the other commissioners. Sitting to my right, representing the 1st Commissioner District, which includes the Ridge, Piney Point, St. George Island, Mr. Eric Colvin.
Good morning.
Representing the 2nd Commissioner District, which includes Leonardtown, Hollywood, Mr. Mike Hewitt.
Good morning.
Sitting to my left, representing the 3rd Commissioner District, which includes Charlotte Hall, 7th District, Golden Beach, and Mechanicsville, Mr. Mike Alderson Jr.
Good morning.
Representing the 4th Commissioner District, which includes Lexington Park, some of California, Great Mills, and some of Hollywood, Mr. Scott Ostro.
Good morning.
Seated next to Commissioner Ostro at the end of the dais is David Weiskopf, our County Administrator.
Morning.
On my immediate right is Julia Birch, our Recorder for today. Sitting at the table to my right is our Communications Director, Ms. Jenna Guzman.
Good morning.
Amy Carter and Andrew Beckman, our media staff, is behind the glass, except Amy is out front here right now. For those you've never seen Amy, there she is. Please turn your cell phones off or on vibrate. When you come to the presenters table, please approach by coming down the center aisle. And remember, this meeting is being televised, so you need to speak clearly and directly into the microphone for recording purposes. At this time, we have a welcome invocation and pledge from Commissioner Colvin. Please stand.
Almighty God, this morning we lift up our nation, we lift up our state, we lift up our county, we lift up all of our residents. We ask that you guide us in the work that we do today, and we thank you for the inspiration we see before us with the future that is here to join our meeting today. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner Colvin.
Thank you.
Next, I need the
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Second.
Have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a proclamation. Obviously, everybody's here to celebrate our Little League All-Star players. Commissioners will go to the front here, and we'll start the ceremony.
Tell which one's going up first.
Who's first? He's number 1 right there.
If we could have the St. Mary's Little League 8 through 10 softball all-star team come up first. I'm going to be right here in the middle. Will you hold this for me? Just right like that. Yeah.
Around behind. I'm going to have you guys come up forward. Okay, perfect. I'm going to have you come around here.
Morning. Thank you all for being here today.
Actually, back a little bit. Step back, and can you guys? Perfect. Good.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here this morning. And thank you to everyone else who's here. This worked out well that we have 5 of these proclamations, and us 5 commissioners are going to take turns. And this really is a treat for us. Our meetings aren't always this much fun, so we're very appreciative that you can be here with us today. So this first proclamation reads, whereas the Commissioners of St. Mary's County proudly recognize and celebrate the St. Mary's Little League 8 through 10 softball all-star team for their momentous achievement of qualifying for the 2024 state tournament, and whereas manager Lane Vizzelli and assistants Krista Farmer and Elisa Nickerson led their team of Audrina Briscoe, Kayla Briscoe, Milan Dorsey, Kinley Farrell, Lillian Finch, Leah Herbert, Julia Kennedy, Catherine Larson, Addison Pettyplace, Bailey Pettyplace, Addie Vizzelli, and Emma Wigglesworth to the district tournament where they went 3-0 in their age bracket, advancing the team to the state level. And whereas the team's success is attributed to their hard work, dedication to excellence, and unwavering determination, and would not have been possible without the support of their parents, coaches, and the St. Mary's Little League organization. And now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of St. Mary's County, do hereby commend and recognize the members of the St. Mary's Little League 8 through 10 softball all-star team for an outstanding competitive softball season and for their dedication to the team and community. This date, July 23rd, 2024. So we're gonna take a picture in just a minute, but before we do that, can we get everybody to introduce themselves in the microphone, okay? We'll start here.
I'm Coach Lane Vizele. I just want to say thank you to you girls for bringing me this far. This has been great. Appreciate it.
I'm Elissa Nickerson.
Why me? I'm Addie Vizele. I'm Emma Wigglesworth. I'm Julia Kennedy. I'm Lillian Finch. I'm Addison Pettyplace. I'm Bailey Pettyplace. I'm Cleo Briscoe.
I'm Kinley Farrell. I'm Milan Darcy.
We're proud of you all. Thank you.
Everybody look at the camera. Everybody smile now. Now, for me, I got the St. Mary's Little League 8 through 10 Baseball All-Star Team State Tournament Qualifiers 2024. Team Manager R.J. Bean, Team Assistant Brian Berry, Team Assistant Tyler Ellis. This is the St. Mary's Little League 8 through 10 Baseball All-Star Team. Whereas the Commissioner of St. Mary's County proudly recognize and celebrate the St. Mary's Little League 8 through 10 Baseball All-Star Team for their momentous achievement of qualifying for the 2024 state tournament. And whereas managers R.J. Bean and assistant Brian Berry and Tyler Ellis led this team. And I'm going to do a little different. They're going to introduce themselves right now.
Liam Shepard.
I am David Beeman.
Lucas Woodburn.
Max Bean.
Bodie Smalls. Nate Berry.
Landon Whited.
I'm RJ. Coach Brian Berry.
Whereas the team's success is attributed to their hard work, dedication to excellence, and unwavering determination, would not have been possible without the support of their parents, coaches, and the St. Mary's Little League organization. And now, therefore, we, the Commissioner of St. Mary's County, do hereby commend and recognize the members of the St. Mary's Little League 8 through 10 Baseball All-Star Team for an outstanding competitive baseball season and for their dedication to their team and community. This date, July 23rd, 2024.
Yes, I just want to thank the commissioners today for having us and showing your support for youth baseball. And also want to say thanks to RJ and his wife, Melissa. You guys are the backbone of this organization. You guys always go above and beyond for the kids, and thank you. And to the Firecrackers, you guys have made us coaches proud. You have made your community proud. You have made your county proud. And you guys should be very proud of yourselves. And baseball is alive and well in St. Mary's County.
Obviously, it's alive and well because everybody's here. The place is full. Thank you very much. And your name?
Ace.
Ace? Mm-hmm. Okay, Ace, there you go.
Don't move, boys. Keep smiling at me. Good job, studs.
All right, this morning I have the distinct pleasure of honoring the St. Mary's Little League Juniors Softball All-Star Team State Tournament Qualifiers. This is for the juniors. Would you come on up?
Oh, this one's special. Actually, girls, come on out. Come on out. We'll put the two down on the line. You're perfect where you are.
All right. Well, I want to, like I said, this is an honor to honor these kids up here and all of them that are here today because I remember playing Little League back when I was when our uniforms consisted of a T-shirt and a ball cap and the jeans or torn up pair of shorts that you had, and playing on gravel fields down here. So, whereas the commissioners of St. Mary's County proudly recognize and celebrate the St. Mary's Little League Junior Softball All-Star Team for the momentous achievement of qualifying for the 2024 state tournament, and whereas manager Zach Roycroft and assistants Matt Stanley and Sean Robichaud led their team of Allison Bowen, Taylor Clear, Ava Eaton, Hannah Hebert, Lillian Jones, Jordan Jones, Madison North, Chloe Roycroft, Leah Stanley, Mackenzie Webb, Lorelei Murata, and Maddie Robichaud to the district tournament where they went 2-0 in their age bracket, advancing the team to the state level. And whereas the team's success attributed to their hard work, dedication to excellence, and unwavering determination, and would not have been possible without the support of their parents, coaches, and the St. Mary's Little League organization. And now, therefore, we, the commissioners of St. Mary's County, do hereby commend and recognize the members of the St. Mary's Little League Junior Softball All-Star Team for an outstandingly competitive softball season and for the dedication to their team and community this date, July 23, 2024.
Leah Stanley. Chloe Roycroft. Lillian Jones. Mackenzie Webb. Madeline Robichaud. Taylor Clear.
Jordan Jones.
Ava Eaton.
Coach Zach,
Allison Bowen.
Coach Sean, Coach Matt.
All right, you got the mic. You got some words to say?
Okay, we do this every week with these proclamations, and they're all good. But today is fun. This is really exciting. And for this commissioner, I can only say thank God and God bless you, your parents, all of you. This really makes us feel good. Anyway, today I've got the St. Mary's Little League Junior Baseball All-Star team. The Junior Baseball All-Stars. All right, guys. She'll get us all straight. Where's your coach? He's going to get in next to me. Come on, coaches. Who's the coach?
I have one coach.
All right. Yeah, what we got? Your coach?
Yes, it will.
Okay. It's always great. I'll ask you to speak. It's always good to thank your parents and all the others.
Yes, sir.
So I don't mean to.
All right.
Just trying to help you.
No problem.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Actually, no. That is not true. I know. Commissioner Alderson, perhaps you could come around to me.
Good.
Yeah, right there. Just switch. That way you can help better.
Okay. The St. Mary's Little League Junior Baseball All-Star Team in the state tournament qualifiers for 2024. Whereas the commissioners of St. Mary's County proudly recognize and celebrate the St. Mary's Little League Junior All-Star Team for their momentous achievement of qualifying for the 2024 state tournament. And whereas manager Keith Brooks, assistant manager Mark Schubrooks, and Jeff Carey led their team of Zell Kuzniak, Dalton, sorry, I know I'd get that wrong. Kacharczyk? Kacharczyk, okay. Well, look. Okay. Dalton Tolbert, Alexander Nelson, Gage Winnick, George Ayers, Logan Tennyson, Roy Gilluck, Justin Rogers, Michael Bellinger, Kristen Hazy, Aaron Dobson, Maxwell Schubrooks, Rylan Carey, Justin Guy, and Ian Marshall to the district tournament, where they went 4-1 in their age bracket, advancing the team to the state level. And whereas the team's success is attributed to their hard work, dedication to excellence, and unwavering determination, and would not have been possible without the support of their parents, coaches, and the St. Mary's Little League. Now, therefore, we, the commissioners of St. Mary's County, do hereby commend and recognize the members of the St. Mary's Little League Junior Baseball All-Star Team for an outstanding competitive baseball season and for their dedication to their team and community. This date, July 23rd, 2024. Now, in my own defense, they never really tell us how to pronounce these names in advance, so it's kind of guess your best, but you guys can straighten this out.
I'm Aaron Dobson.
Alex Nelson. Zelka Archek. Roy Gilcott.
Logan Tennyson.
Coach Keith Dobson standing in place of Coach Keith Brooks and Coach Mark Schubrooks.
Justin Guy.
Dalton Tolbert. George Ayers. Ian Marshall.
Rylan Carey.
Coach Jeff.
And a couple words.
Yes, sir. First, I want to thank God for the opportunity for these boys to get together and perform like they did. I want to thank God for Coach Keith Brooks, who led this team, unwavering support for these boys, emotionally, mentally, physically, getting them out there and working them really hard. I want to thank the parents. I want to thank the commissioners. I want to thank the county. I want to thank the brothers and sisters of all the players that came up and supported these guys. They showed up to the district tournament They lost the first game pretty handedly, and after that, they rounded up together and they got behind redemption, and they wanted to redeem themselves from what had happened. And these guys played with fire. They played with sheer determination to win, and they broke the spirit of every team that they played after that. They ran through every pitcher. They ran through everything that they had to throw at them. They fought. And I'll say this, there's not one kid on this team that did an outstanding job that stood out from all the others. They played as a team. They got together. They got behind each other. And it took everybody to get on the mound. It took everybody at the plate. And they showed what St. Mary's County really encompasses and represents, and that's family and community. So you guys are amazing. If Coach Keith was standing here today, he'd be super proud of you. He'd probably be tearing up like I'm about to do. But I love you guys. Coach Keith Brooks loves you guys. He's very, very proud of each and every one of you. We all are.
Thank you.
Coach, that was a very motivational speech there. Yeah, you'd be a good commissioner, sir.
Everybody look at the cameras here and smile, look good. Very good. All right, very good.
All right, so last but certainly not least, it's my privilege to do the presentation for the St. Mary's Little League Majors Softball All-Star Team. So, on up. Hike 'em.
Coach, we're going to have you right here. You're a little bit taller, so the picture next to Coach will have you.
Doing good. How are you doing? Not too bad.
Have you. Hey, are you okay?
You're almost done.
That's what I'm saying. See you, and we want to be able to see you, so you might have to. Perfect.
All right, this is really an exciting day. Commissioner Hewitt was right. It is great. We do these all the time, but this really makes it fun, and it really is a wonderful day to see this many people out supporting what these kids have accomplished. It's really special for me, too, because my granddaughter started Biddy Ball this year. They didn't play any games, just a lot of practices, but I'm hoping to see her up here one of these days. Whereas the Commissioners of St. Mary's County proudly recognize and celebrate the St. Mary's Little League Majors Softball All-Star Team for their momentous achievement of qualifying for the 2024 state tournament. And whereas manager Jason Zonka and assistants Josh Obermeyer and Mark Cusick led their team of Ella Bernd, Savannah Cusick, Brooklyn Etter, Leah Garcia, Josephine Kippel, Aubrey Obermeyer, Sophia Polk, Brinley Roycroft, Paige Sanders, Charlie Schrader, Charlotte Taylor, and Alina Zonka to their 3-0 to go 3-0 in their age bracket for the district tournament, advancing the team to the state level. And whereas the team's success is attributed to their hard work, dedication to excellence, unwavering determination, and would not have been possible without the support of their parents, coaches, and the St. Mary's Little League organization. And now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of St. Mary's County, do hereby commend and recognize the members of the St. Mary's Little League Majors Softball All-Star Team for an outstandingly competitive softball season and for their dedication to their team and community. And I'm going to let everybody straighten out the butchery I did on their names. So starting right here.
Charlotte Taylor.
Brooklyn Etter.
Elena Zonka.
Leah Garcia.
Paige Sanders.
Ella Burned.
Brinley Roycroft.
Savannah Cusick.
Coach Jason Zonka. But first, I want to congratulate all the players in the room. Way to represent St. Mary's and the Little League. I know I've been coaching softball for, I don't know, since she was 5. So you guys can all do the math. It's been a while. I've coached many girls in this room. It's been an exciting run to see how well softball's developed. Thanks to, all our league leaders to, work for us and fight for our fields. I know the fields is a big battle. We keep going. We need more and more good stuff. And, to get these girls and help them get to that next level, it's something that we really would really love to see. Really proud of this team. I've coached many of these girls for many, many years, and it's been a lot of fun. They're like my own extension little daughters, and we have a lot of great coach talks. I promised one of the other coaches in the back row there I'd keep it clean today, so I will. But it's been an honor to be with you girls. It's been awesome. This was a great magical run we had, and it's been a lot of fun. And I want to turn it over. One of my players would like to say a couple words.
Thanks for having us. It's been an honor for playing for St. Mary's. It's unfortunate how we ended the season, but I'm glad I got to end the season with these girls. And it's been an honor just playing with these girls. And I've grown up with a lot of them, and they all just mean something special to me, and they all have their own little talents.
Coaches, thank you so much for bringing all of us today so that we can celebrate with you. The photos from today will be available for you to download for 48 hours on our Flickr account. You can also watch the video recording on our YouTube channel. That information is on the back of the Christmas card.
Great. Just right here. Let's go ahead and take about a 3-minute break.
Give them a few minutes.
Yeah. 3-minute break. Please come to order. Recess is over. Back to the main agenda here. We'll go with the county administrator time.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner President Guy. Start off as we always do with the draft agendas for July 30th and August 20th. There's no meeting on August 6th or 13th. So on July 30th, you'll start at your normal time and place, followed by the Maryland State Department of Emergency Services, Secretary Strickland visiting, and then Department of Land Use and Growth Management decision, villages at Clark's Mill, request for water category change, county administrator time, commissioner time, and then closed session, litigation strategy, and tentatively set as well for personnel, and then adjourn. On Tuesday, August 20th, you'll start at your normal time and place, followed by 4 proclamations, one for Child Support Awareness Month, one for Forget Me Not Month, National Aviation Day, and National Black Business Month, followed by county administrator time and commissioner time. And the first thing on the agenda today, I do not see anybody from Economic Development, so we will start with B, which is Department of Recreation and Parks, fiscal year 25 Waterway Improvement Fund Grant Award, Chaptico Wharf Improvements, Mr. Arthur Shepard and Roy Copsey. Welcome.
Thank you, and welcome to you. And Waterway Improvement Funds in the amount of $199,000 for the Chaptico Wharf. That's a good deal.
Wow.
You know, in the last 4 years, we've had minor projects with WIF money as well as major projects for 13 of the 15 public landings. So Roy and the team have done a good job. Waterway Improvement have been good to us. They trust us with the grant money. So today we're asking for any approval. And if you have any questions, so just let us know and Roy and I can answer them.
How many more docks do we get to redo? We've done St. Indigo's, Bushwood. We've done quite a few of them, haven't we?
Well, yeah, where are our major improvements needed, Roy?
We still have a few more to go. I try to look at them each year and try to get a grant, you know, for the ones that are, and redo them as we go. It's usually can get $1 grand a year, you know, and then we can get a grant for $5,000 every year, but we use that to replace boards and stuff like that throughout all the wharfs. So.
199, that should go a long way, right?
Well, these days and times it don't go too
Okay,
far.
well, let's just say expectations are it may go a long way. So you think you'll be able to replace the whole dock, or what do you think you'll be able to do?
At Chaptico, we're going to replace everything but the pilings pretty much starting. It needs it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
Nice. Well, I move to approve the FY25 Waterway Improvement Fund Grant Award in the amount of $199,000 for improvements, excuse me, for improvements to Chaptico Wharf, and authorize the Commissioner President to sign all related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you very
Thank you all
much.
very much.
Thank you, sirs. Next up, from the Department of Human Resources, is the Trial Acting Medical Duty Officer Policy and Emergency Medical Services. Catherine Pratson, Director of HR, and Jennifer Utz, Director of Emergency Services. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning, ladies.
Good morning.
So Director Utz and I have been working to revise the acting capacity pay policy in a trial fashion for the medical duty officers within emergency services. Our acting capacity policy, as currently exists in our personnel manual, anticipates that the vacancy is for an extended period of time, no less than 4 weeks, no more than 6 months. And in the emergency services universe, what has been happening is when MDOs, medical duty officers, are vacant, call out, for example, for a shift, no one that has been trained that is less senior to them can fill the vacancy. Only more senior people can come down and fill it. Where we've had some absences in the senior leadership, it created a tremendous amount of overtime, a tremendous amount of burden, and this policy is to provide people who are trained the opportunity to act up in this role for the one shift, to give them training to develop the bench. And then Director Utz can certainly describe it more.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, thank you, Catherine. Yeah, so I think just really in like my first 90 days surveying the organization, looking, one of the issues that we discovered was this inability to fill that role. So there's currently 4 MDOs. We're going to promote 2 additional or move to hire 2 additional. So we'll have 6 of these EMS lieutenants with no ability to backfill other than to call back for overtime, which means the off-duty MDOs must be the person that fills that, or in this case, the assistant chief or EMS chief, we're filling that. So we've seen a lot of responder fatigue, excessive work hours, working 36 hours straight, which, could, be, a safety issue for our responders, but also, a budgetary strain, maybe some additional overtime that we don't need to expend, but really, we're not building our bench, right? We're not providing for succession planning. So in this proposal, we would take our qualified paramedics, we would train them, we would turn them in and clear them. And so when we have a vacancy, anticipated vacancy for overtime, we would staff it with a paramedic who would act up as an MDO, fill all the same roles, with the exception of personnel matters that would be reserved for a promoted officer to handle upon their return. But also, like Catherine said, really build our bench, give us some depth in the organization, and prepare our personnel for the future for promotion, decompress the system, decompress some responder fatigue, and see how that works. We have some funds in the FY25 budget for the acting paramedics or for the paramedic sort of reclass.
Right.
So we feel that we have enough funds in there to more than cover that, and then we'll obviously be tracking the overtime cost and offset of, using the higher class versus the straight overtime. We did meet with the MDOs and discuss the policy with them, the proposed policy, and how that would impact them. There will still be overtime opportunities for those individuals, so they won't, be left without any overtime. They will be taking the last-minute callbacks, and certainly they'll still be afforded the same opportunities for overtime as other individuals in the organization. But so that's the approach, that's the thought process. Again, decompress, responder fatigue, build the bench, and look at some of this, some overtime that we're incurring, maybe unnecessarily.
So I like that you've set this up as a trial policy so that we have time to evaluate it and see how it's working. How long do you anticipate it remaining a trial policy, assuming that we can see success through this?
Yeah, I would assume at least a quarter.
Okay.
And then that way we would be able to track, what overtime would have been incurred had we not instituted it versus what was incurred. The MDO and the employee feedback. This is different for us, this trial period, this type of policy. I think it can be quite successful. I think it can work. But we want to just give it a try and see. And then that way, if it does create the progress that we think it will and is as positive as we think, we would then come back and ask to incorporate it in the policy manual as a more permanent approach.
Good. Okay, why would you need approval for a trial policy? Why don't you just do it?
It's just so contrary to our current acting policy that we thought that it would be worth talking it through. We do not have a policy that supports this. Certainly, emergency services could develop one and already has in-house, but we just thought it was worth the conversation since it differs from the current policy that you all approved.
My point is I will support it. Now, Director Utz, I want to, apologize to you for you just got this job and you have had your share of challenges. And I want to thank you. This commissioner probably could have done a better job to support you, but I want to say that you've inherited a mess. And I'm sorry, and please stay with us. You're well regarded.
Commissioner, I honestly feel very well supported by the commissioners and this county administrative team, and I'm still honored and humbled to be here. And the work before me we will make our Department of Emergency Services better and stronger for every challenge we face. And so,
but I want to personally tell you this. I have a lot of friends who are in the rescue squads, the fire departments. I was just at the Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department, a couple nights this past week. And many of them said they respect you, they like the job you're doing, they're glad you're here, you're a real anchor. That's probably not the best here. But you bring prestige and confidence to there, and they appreciate that.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate it.
And this is a step, right? This is a step toward strengthening the department, toward offering opportunity, toward building the staff. So we're hoping to have more and more of them.
And just to add to Catherine, I mean, I think the other part, the reason we came before you is because we know that it's going to incur a cost, but we think that cost is going to be absorbed by our
Take
budget.
care of it in-house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's always good.
That's good.
I have a quick question for you, Director. First, I got to say, I do love this idea because I'm a strong supporter in having a deep bench and having next man up mentality because you never know when you're going to need it, and it's good to have that backup. And speaking with the existing MDOs, what kind of thoughts were they sharing about this trial plan?
The feedback, they're tired.
Okay.
They are tired. They're supportive. Obviously, it's change for them, but also providing them reassurance that we're not, cutting all their overtime. So they're open-minded and accepting to try anything new, but they too have expressed their fatigue.
Yeah.
They're working a lot of hours.
I mean, there's quite a few careers out there that you don't want to be dealing with someone who's burned out and overtired, and I think EMS and DES is definitely one of those career paths that
Yeah, and I
want someone sharp and on the edge.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this is a very good idea, and I know quite a few folks as well who serve, and it's a tough job, and being able to have this relief for them is excellent. So I'll definitely support it as well.
Ms. Pratt, I didn't hear, how long do you expect this to last?
We're going to look at it after a quarter. So we'll
3
try-
months?
Yep. And conceivably, another reason to sort of bring it publicly and talk about it is, are there other departments where something like this might work? I don't know the answer to that, but it might give us, another tool in the toolbox for other departments in the future.
Okay. Great idea. I like it. Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, sir.
Need a motion?
I move to approve the trial acting medical duty officer policy for the EMS Division of Emergency Services.
Second.
First and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is the Department of Economic Development for the transfer of Bond Allocation Authority. Deputy Director Kelly Hinkle presenting. Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. I apologize for not being here earlier. This was not on my calendar. The item before you today is the annual ask from the Department of Commerce and the Department of Housing and Community Development to transfer unused bonding authority from the county back to the state. The bonding authority would be used for projects that come under the Department of Commerce and DHCD in St. Mary's County. So this is an annual ask. This is unused. This frees up the state to do more projects in the county.
So, Ms. Hinkle, I know you've got a full day ahead of you because the Secretary of Housing and Community Development, Mr. Jake Day from Salisbury,
Yes,
is
Eastern Shore.
in town today and yesterday, and so you're going to be showing him around. Now, once we get this done, you can just take it right back.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
him.
If you could just sign the letter, I'll just take it over to Leonardtown where we're meeting him.
So we do this every year. Do we have any records of what they've actually done with the bond authority once we've given it back in projects in St. Mary's County?
That's a great question, and I think that's a good piece of information that we should bring to you in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, while you're doing that, can you tell us, do we have a director of housing like Dennis Nicholson used to be? I know we've had this guy, Sean Livingston, I think is his name, kind of doing between counties, and do you know anything
Not
about
to my knowledge, we haven't.
We haven't got one yet.
Not yet.
Well, I know we've talked about this having almost 2,000 people on a waiting list for some type of housing, and we're way behind. And so when I read that we had a bonus of $430,000, sounds like it's money we could have used.
Correct.
And we have a need. I'm sorry you're here and not prepared, and I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's
But
fine.
when I also saw this $5,025,869 as Housing Allocation Authority, we need to use it. We have county properties that are available. We need to find affordable housing. So,
Agree. It's a need in the county.
okay. Now, what time are you meeting this guy, or when we supposed to have a chance to talk to him?
11 o'clock, we're starting the windshield tour from Leonardtown to down Great Mills Road.
Okay.
And I believe there's a
There's a round
table.
table at Pax River Ale House from 12:30 to 2.
12:30.
All right, I move to transfer both the housing and non-housing allocations of the county's portion of the 2024 Private Activity Bond Authority to the appropriate state agencies and authorize the Commissioner President to sign all related documents.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Kelly.
Thank you, Ms. Hinkle. And that concludes the county administrator time.
Okay, well, we go right into Commissioner time, and we'll start with Commissioner Ostro this time.
All right. Well, hey, great morning this morning. It's just fantastic. Once again, I just want to say it was great to see all the kids and all the families here, and just fantastic that they did so well and performed so well, and they're able to excel in their sport. In the sports that they love to do. And I just want to give a shout out to Director Shepard and his team for the amazing youth programs that we offer here in the county, and our amazing fields that we have for these kids to play on. When I was growing up, we didn't have fields like that. I mean, we played on, you talk about sandlot, we played on anything. And sometimes it was just stickball on the streets or anything like that. So it's just wonderful to live in a community that has such beautiful fields and such beautiful parks and recs for all sports and for leisure, from anywhere from pickleball to tennis to golf to everything you could want to do. So that's just big shout out to Director Shepard. Had a very busy past weekend this weekend. Kicked off Saturday morning. Actually started Friday night when my daughter came over for dinner, and she told her mom and I about this great new place that she had gone to the grand opening for, and I had heard that they were going to open, but I wasn't aware that it was this past weekend. So the new, hopefully I pronounced this right, the Boba Tea place on Great Mills Road. I'd never had boba tea before, and it really is delicious. So we went there, and it was just a great place. The food was delicious. We had boba tea and sticky buns, and it was just a wonderful morning to support a new business. And I just love to see all the new businesses that we have coming into the Lexington Park community. So we plan to see a lot more things happen there as we go through the renovation of Millicent Plaza, and we're encouraging as much small business to open and grow that Great Mills corridor as much as we can. So just great job for one more new restaurant, new coffee place opening. They also do great cappuccinos. I went in there yesterday and got a cappuccino, and it was really good too. All locally sourced beans and everything. So just absolutely fantastic. And then Saturday afternoon, my wife and I had the opportunity to go to the summer stock performance of Cinderella at Great Mills High School. So great performance, a lot of talented individuals in that. It was just absolutely, it was wonderful. And it's not the Disney version. So there's no bippity boppity boo, but it was a great performance, and so I encourage. There's still one more weekend to go this coming weekend. So anybody who hasn't gone and seen it, get out there and see it. Support great local artists and these kids who are in it. Many of them are just kids from the various programs in the different schools. So just absolutely fantastic, and once again a huge shout out to Art Shepard and his team because that's all put on through Rex and Parks. So just absolutely fantastic performance. I'm looking forward to next year. Saturday evening, Commissioner Colvin and I had the privilege to attend the 71st annual Lexington Park Rescue Squad Officer Installation and Awards ceremony and dinner. That was a great evening. Some amazing people that are part of Lexington Park and all the rescue and fire volunteers that we have in our community. We're very blessed to have such dedicated people. Director Utz, shout out to you as well for the incredible work that you're doing. And once again, I heard a lot of great things about you that evening at the dinner. It was wonderful to sit with you and get to know you a little bit better and have a conversation. So just absolutely my privilege for that to be the district that I serve and just to all the fire and rescue people in our community. Just thank you so much for all that you do and all the commitment that you give and the sacrifices you make for time with your families to make sure that we are all safe in our community. So thank you very much. Sunday, we had wonderful family day. It was my wife's birthday weekend, and so we had all the kids over Sunday for a big family dinner and celebrate my wife's birthday. I won't mention how old she is, but she is older than me, so that's okay. But so big shout out to you, babe. Happy birthday. This coming Saturday, I will be kind of taking the show on the road, as it were. We are going to be, Commissioner Colvin will be joining me once again for another town hall type meeting, but we are taking it to Cedar Lane because there's a lot of seniors in our community who might not be able to get out. They're not mobile. They're not able to get out and come to the public forum that we're having this evening or the town halls that I do regularly at Bay District. So I think it's important that we ensure that our seniors have a chance to hear the commissioners, hear what's going on in the community, have a chance to ask questions and get answers to their questions. I think sometimes our seniors are kind of the forgotten ones in our community, and I think it's very important to recognize them and to make sure that they have the opportunity to hear from their commissioners and get to talk to their commissioners. So really looking forward to that opportunity. That's coming up this Saturday. It's going to be a great day, and I'm really looking forward to that. Once again, I'll say public forum tonight. Please come out. Bring whatever you want to let the commissioners know. If we don't know about it, if we don't know it's broken, we can't fix it. So please come, bring whatever concerns that you have. We want to hear them. We encourage everybody just to come out. This is not a specific public hearing tonight. You can bring any concerns that you have in the community. So please come and attend tonight. It's at 6:30. Looking forward to seeing, hopefully I would love to see the room this evening as packed as it was this morning. So that would be fantastic. So with that, I'm gonna pass it on.
Alderson.
Thank you very much. So I do want to echo the sentiments shared already earlier and congratulate all of the kids who did so well representing St. Mary's County in the tournaments, with the All-Star tournaments. Big shout out to the coaches. I've been there. I know what you went through and what you've done and what you sacrificed to do what you do. And to the parents, I'm on that side of it too, also known as Uber. And I know it's an incredible sacrifice for some of these things to travel all over the place to do these, make all the practices, and deal with other parents from other leagues and teams and stuff like that. That can be a little fun to deal with sometimes. I'll just leave it at that. But I'm sure that everybody represented St. Mary's County well, and I'm extremely proud of everybody involved in that. Upcoming this weekend is the 75th anniversary celebration for the 7th District Volunteer Fire Department. They're having an outdoor community event this Saturday at 2 p.m. at the firehouse. There'll be several food trucks there, and you get to tour the firehouse, view all the apparatus and everything. They've done a great job over there with setting up a little museum of the history of the 7th District Fire Department, and it's very interesting to go there and just hear all the multi-generational names, because the one thing I've spoken about before is how multi-generational all of our emergency services are. And it's just a testimony to how dedicated the members of this community are to their neighbors and family. And it's very heartwarming to see that we still keep that as a guiding principle in this county. But we also are extremely welcoming to anybody who's not from the county who wants to become a first responder. I'm sure there's not a volunteer service in this county that would turn you down if you were to walk up and say, hey, you know what? I'm ready to serve my community. So come on out, find out what it's all about. And if you get a chance, just walk up to any of your other volunteer rescue squads, volunteer fire departments, and ask about how you can get involved. Even if you get involved as an auxiliary member, that's enough, because the auxiliary members do a ton of work for the to support the agencies, and they're always looking for members also. This past weekend, I did get down to Lake Anna to spend some time with some friends down there, and we're all of the same age. My friends, my wife's friends and I, we're all of the same age, and we're all getting to a point in our lives where our kids are grown and out of the house, or working their way out of the house, but we're starting to face elder care issues, and it's pretty daunting task sometimes, because you have different health care issues you have to deal with, and then there's issues if there's a widowed member of the family having to deal with loneliness and depression there. And we were talking about it this weekend, and I was speaking about how our Office on Aging does such a great job with all the programs and outreach they have with the senior centers in our county. And one of the guys I was talking to this weekend said in their county down in Virginia, they don't have that kind of support network in place for their seniors. And it's he runs into it, so he's taken upon himself to befriend his neighbor, keep his eye out on his widowed neighbor. He's a 73-year-old, very active man, and so he takes him out on a boat, takes him fishing and everything, and then actually got him introduced him to another lady, a lady of a similar age who hit it off very well. So now he's all very proud of himself that he's gotten, he's found this man a friend and a companion. A lot of times it's just you want someone at that age just to talk to who can relate to you, and talk about the things you guys both are familiar with. But keep an eye out for family members, neighbors, or whatever who might be in that situation, and steer them in a direction towards our senior centers and put them to use. We do put a fair amount of money into it, and they get a ton of grant money to provide some great programs. Personally, I'm not there yet where I'll need to be partaking of any of the programs, but if God willing I get there, I'm definitely going to do that. So today there's a meeting with the Secretary of Housing from the state of Maryland, and I read a quick article. I have to reread it to get more details on it. And Baltimore County had a developer who did a whole development of tiny homes, and it was in the Baltimore Business Journal. I haven't gotten around to reading the entire article, like I said. And these homes are, like I said, they're tiny homes. They are all priced well under $100,000, and there's a community of these homes, and there's the land is here in the county that the county owns, between the county and the housing authority, where we can maybe explore something like this. And the only thing we, as a county and as a state, have to do is not get in our own way. You can't sit there and preach fair workforce housing, affordable housing. You can't sit there and do that and then put a bunch of onerous regulations on top of it. And I said that to the governor when he was down here for his visit last year, that he wanted to do all these things for the state. And I told him the first thing he has to do is get rid of a bunch of regulations and stop getting in our government should not get in its own way of its progress. So I look forward to exploring more and working more on that when we're at the MACO conference in a couple weeks. I've already circled the programs I want to visit, I want to see and be a part of. And I'm definitely going to follow up on the housing thing, because I do see it as a huge issue in the county, especially with my oldest son ready to fly to coop, but then he sees the price of rent and he sees the price of a mortgage, and he's like, I'm staying here for a while. So we're going to it's definitely something that's high on my priority list in the upcoming year. So tonight is the public hearing, like Commissioner Oster said, and there's also the public hearing for the SMECO rate change. And I'm still beating my drum about that. And I said something to the county administrator this morning. The conspiracy theorist in me has an issue with the SMECO doing their public hearing tonight. We set our schedule almost a year in advance for our public forums, and this date has been on our calendar for a long time. And coincidentally, or maybe not, it depends on your how much conspiracy theorist you are. Charles County is having their public hearing tonight on their planned switch to a charter government. So you have the two counties who are most affected by SMECO having things at the local level that people would be engaged in, and they're doing their public forum tonight. Like I said, if you can't make our public forum and go to the SMECO forum, no feelings hurt. If you have, you do have time to write to us or to SMECO and share your opinion. So I urge you to use that opportunity to get a hold of us, either through phone call, email works best, I feel, or just show up at either place and let your voice be heard, because an engaged citizen is the kind of citizen we need in this county. And with that, I'll pass it along.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, last week was a difficult week for a couple different reasons. So first off, we were really saddened to hear of the loss of Alex Jaffers. Dr. Jaffers was the Assistant Superintendent of Supporting Services for St. Mary's County Public Schools. But above that, he was a teacher, a coach, a mentor, a husband, and a father. He was one of my math teachers when I was in high school. And he had that larger-than-life persona. He was one of the teachers that everyone who went to school while he was there remembers. He's going to be missed. So our condolences to the family, to all the friends and coworkers, because that's a hard loss. Also, last week it was identified that there was a theft of the opioid fentanyl from our first responder kits. Several points to this. First off, it's an ongoing investigation and a personnel issue, so we cannot comment with details about it. But addiction is terrible and real. And second, I just want to commend our entire team, all of our staff, employees, for the immediate actions and steps that they took when this was identified. I want to commend the person who identified it, because it's difficult to come out and say these things, but it's very real and it's very meaningful and impactful. And our team worked really quickly to ensure safety of individuals involved, to work to identify the full impact of what happened, and review of policies and procedures, and that'll be ongoing for a while, but it's a tragedy that it happened. It's disappointing that it happened, but people responded the right way, so I want to thank all of our team for that. They did a good job with that. But moving on to better news and happier news, as Commissioner Ostro talked about, last week was the installation ceremony for the Lexington Park Volunteer Rescue Squad. It was a great time with them. Their auxiliary raised $45,000 to give to the department. That's incredible. And I want to commend all of the award winners. They do a really good job recognizing people and all of the people involved, not just the frontline people, but all the people involved in keeping that department operating. They were recognizing. And Melissa Gould especially was the squad person of the year. So congratulations to you, because that's a big honor. As was mentioned, don't miss your chance to see our summer stock production of Cinderella. I've heard some great stuff. I plan to see it this coming weekend. And also, don't miss the 7th District Fire Department's open house, as Commissioner Alderson talked about. They've been working on that for a while, and that'll be a great time to be able to go in and see that. And then one quick story for the commissioners and everyone else. My son is still at home. He's at the age where there's a lot of school birthday parties, and he's had multiple school birthday parties in county-owned facilities. So one kid had one at the rec center, and there was a skating party. He's had several at the Great Mills Pool. He's had a couple different facilities, and they've all been great parties. And when you get 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds running around, they're going to have fun no matter what they do. Well, this past Saturday, he had one at the Great Mills Pool. It was a lot of fun, as they always are. And my son has several loose teeth. Well, one of his loose teeth is now floating around the Great Mills pool somewhere. And the kids thought that was the best thing in the world. I yelled to my son, hey, open your mouth so they can see what your teeth look like in case they find it somewhere. And they didn't quite get the joke there. But it was a lot of fun. And the kids were quite enthused looking around for that tooth, and it was a good time. So a lot of fun. Public forum tonight at 6:30 p.m. If you can make it, that'd be great. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hewitt.
Hey, thank you. Excuse me. Alex Jaffers, I didn't know him well, but my son graduated high school with Commissioner Colvin. And when I told him about it, he had Mr. Jaffers for a couple courses, calculus, pre-calc, or whatever they were back then. And he was very, very surprised. He said it was horrible, and he felt very badly, and my daughter the same way. He had a big impact on a lot of people, a lot of young people, and it's a serious loss. But condolences to his families and everybody impacted. Secondly, we talk about the SMETCO increase. I got the same notice everybody else got. Recently noticed a couple posts on Facebook about, hey, look, my bill went up, 30, 40%. They're getting us during the hot weather, da-da-da. Well, we all know SMETCO is a wonderful organization. And look, after storms are out there, they're doing everything they can to get us back online. I can only give praise to SMETCO. I think they're a great organization. I would say, though, when you raise the rates, you're doing what you got to do. But honestly, look, the county just did the same thing with its taxes. The fire taxes were just raised. That's a lot to be putting on those citizens at one time. Someone would say, hey, look, that tax is only $200 for a person making $100,000 a year. But then when you tack on the fire tax, there's another $200,000. Then you got the SMETCO going on. Before you know it, it's adding up. And it's very hard for people to make ends meet. Expenses are high. But let's just hope we get through this. We get through all these increases and get back to some normalcy. Public forum tonight. Hope to see people here. Lord knows there's a lot going on, a lot for people to be excited about. I know there's things going on at the Planning Commission and the Board of Appeals people have been concerned about, and we want to hear from you. So please, show up if you have time. Now, two what I call not so great subjects. One's the DES situation that we learned about, and it was amazing to find out that the internet, the Southern Maryland NewsNet, was so on top of that. And I'm very surprised that they had the information they had, because it is a personnel incident. But look, Lord knows word travels fast. When I was at the Hollywood Carnival, all the people know who, what, where, when, why, what happened. And honestly, they asked me, well, commissioners, how'd that happen? How'd you do it? How'd you get there? This commissioner apologizes to the community, because commissioners made the decision. So let's just say when the facts come out, when we can speak about it openly, let's just say we'll all think better, and maybe it'll be a learning experience for us all. Now, lastly, I wore a black tie today, and I don't wear black ties often. I never wear black ties. But I got my degree in history, and I've always believed that what made America great is our democracy, our Constitution, our ability to say that we do things the way the people want it done. Over last week, we saw the attempted assassination of former President Trump. Very, 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 big deal. You don't see that very often, Lord knows, and thank God. But this past weekend, we saw what I would call the coup of the president. This guy, a week ago, less than a week ago, was saying, I'm in, I'm running, I'm doing this. But people in the upper levels of that party got to him and made him change his mind. And the 14 million people who voted for him during the primaries, look, I'm a Republican, but I'm a moderate. I definitely believe we have to be in the middle in this country, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when I see the votes of the people diminished, if the president really had that in mind, look, I was a very young boy when this happened, but when Lyndon Johnson did it back in '68, I guess I was 14, 15. Bottom line was, there was plenty of time for more quality people to present themselves and give the voters an opportunity to choose. What's happened this week is they've coalesced around the vice president, which they have to do. And it's a disservice to voters. It's a disservice to democracy. Now, I know I have a brother and sister-in-law, very pro-Democrat, they're very happy about what's happened. And my point is, okay, people are going to be happy. Maybe we'll have a great election. But for something like this to happen so soon before the election day, a little over 100 days, it's a disservice to our democracy. So all I can say is God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Everybody said quite a bit. I would say that for those of you who have not seen the Cinderella, my wife and I went Friday night, and that was their first showing, and boy, these kids did a great job. It was unbelievable, unbelievable. So for those of you who haven't seen it, I would say get out this weekend and go see it, and you'll really enjoy it. But we enjoyed it, and Art Shepard took us behind the scenes to see how things were set up behind the scenes, both in the orchestra area and the dressing areas of the cast. And it was very interesting the way the actors there actually moved the set around during the presentation rather than closing the screen, opening it back up again for each set. They quickly moved things around, and I was sort of impressed the way they did that. And it was a good showing, really great. And so if you haven't seen it, it was a pretty good crowd there Friday night. I think you should make sure you go out and see this. I can tell you, anyone who has a young girl, daughter, whatever, we had one sitting right next to my wife, and she was just memorized the whole time this thing was going on. So what a great showing. So go see it. And I appreciate the people who are involved in this, both our Parks and Rec, the Arts Council in the county is a big supporter and contributor to all this, and all those behind-the-scene people that did this show. What a great show to bring in these. I think they're supposed to be from age 14 to 21. They're high school, and some of them are college too. But what they did was a great show. The SMECO rate, if it was in place right now, what they're talking about 11%, my bill this month would have been closer to $35 more than I'm paying now. And that is a great increase. We're all seeing great increases in everything now, and I don't know, I suppose they have to justify it. I know that SMECO is a co-op that buys most of their power off the grid and whatever. I have no idea what justification is, but I'm sure they'll tell everybody soon what it justifies. And Alderson brought up about tiny homes, and actually I'm going to look more into it myself down in North Carolina. I traveled down to Emerald Isle quite a bit, and what I'm impressed with, Emerald Isle itself, when you get across that bridge on Route 58, the homes over there start at $600,000 up to $10 million. But just on the other side of that bridge, there is a tiny home development, probably about 120 of these little tiny homes that are actually on the water of Bogue Sound. Now, they're not really on the water itself. They got a community area. But these are those little, I don't know if you've seen them. They're like, I drove through there because I couldn't believe it, but they're like a trailer with a additional second story almost to it partly. And these things are about $100,000. Now, I'm not sure what they pay for the lot or if they're just renting the lot. I haven't found yet, but there's not just one of these little subdivisions. There's 3 of them within about a 3-mile range that are right on this Bogue Sound between there and the Swansboro area. And I really want to, since in Cataract County, and I'm going to check to see what is it that they use to qualify, justify these, and how much that they really, what do we do to change our laws to require something like this? It's just is a possibility or something like this that could help us out. With that being said, I want to make sure everybody knows there's a public hearing at 6:30 this afternoon right here, and we welcome those. This is an open public hearing, so anything you want to bring up, we're here to listen. Just to listen. We're not going to have any discussions. It's just here to listen. So that being said, I need a motion to move into closed session.
I move to enter into closed session to discuss personnel.
Second.
Our first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.